And hey there, everybody. It's meteorologist Jamie Singleton. It's 10:09 on a Thursday night, the 11th of February 2021. And our frustrating winter continues as far as getting any, huge snow. We're not going to see that once again. This is a wintry mix that's falling across the area. That's the first thing I wanted to tell you is that, this, what I'm concerned about is mainly for the, just minute amounts of mix, more of a nuisance, but very dangerous on the roads as you head out late tonight and early tomorrow morning because of this combination of snow, sleet, freezing rain, and rain that we're seeing. And we will eventually probably see some accumulation. We're already seeing some in Botetourt County as you look at the temperatures continuing to fall. But longer down the road, I do want to draw your attention to the weekend, Friday night and the Saturday, and then again Monday and Tuesday. We are looking at two more systems behind tonight's that have the potential to give us a significant amount of ice, one that could produce power outages and the damage that you get with the tree limbs and the trees coming down hopefully will melt off the ice in between systems. But overall, this cold air gets stuck near the surface, and as ripples of energy ride along that, and it pulls moisture up and over it, and that's when we get our mixed bag of precip. So I didn't really make a snow map for this event because it's just so tricky. Most areas will stay below 2 inches, but some areas are almost halfway there, especially in Botetourt County. Just to the north of Fincastle, we've got a report of 0.8 inches of snow in Botetourt County. We've got almost a half an inch in White Sulphur Springs in Greenbrier County, West Virginia. Higher elevations here in the Greenbrier County near Roanoke. At 2 inches. It is pouring the snow down in Richmond, which is kind of weird. You wouldn't think of Richmond getting snow ahead of Roanoke, but the colder air is coming down aloft from the northeast and at the surface from the northeast, really. And so that's made it where it's thicker here, the cold air, and that allows for, if you're below freezing all the way up in the cloud, you can have snow. And that's where we're seeing this line. Now, it looks like there's a hole right over our area. The Blacksburg radar is undergoing required maintenance so that we can have a radar. And unfortunately, you have to do it sometime. They had to plan this well in advance. And for it to happen, they just had to do it pretty much today into next week. So it's going to be down, the Blacksburg radar, for about 7 to 10 days. It kind of stinks, but we do have surrounding radars that are able to catch some of our precipitation. But the fact that the radar is down, it's planned. If we were to do it in the spring when thunderstorm season's here and severe weather season's here, that would not be a good thing. So, it's planned well in advance, and we have to get it done now. They're doing this all across the country, and this week is our turn. We look across the rest of the area, and you can see plenty of moisture moving in from the south and from the west. Doesn't look too impressive on the radar picture, but you have to remember that we are dealing with a radar outage. So if you look at the satellite picture here, and I'll get rid of the METARs for right now, you can see some colder cloud tops over West Virginia and our area. So that is a sign that we've got a little spoke on the wheel here, if you will, here moving in from Tennessee and Kentucky. This is more than likely part of the system that's moving in tonight. And while we don't have a ton of echoes showing up to the west on the radar, we'll probably see development of more precipitation as we head throughout the next couple of hours. And again, the temperatures will continue falling out there as well, as we're now at freezing into the NRV and Roanoke Valley as well, and including here at Cable 12 in Franklin County, where I'm at 32 just within the past hour or so. Here's a look at it on the other weather computer here, and you can see again the snow line now takes you all the way through Richmond, right through central Virginia, and this is an algorithm's guess at that, but I've got sleet and snow reported around Lynchburg, and that's been going on now for the past couple of hours. And of course, north of the Roanoke Valleys, where we're seeing most of the sleet and snow reporting coming in. Now we're turning it over, as the cold air is a little more thin south of Roanoke, and the freezing rain and just some rain farther to the southwest. But the cold air is going to win the battle. So if you look up in the sky, we'll turn the mesoanalysis on here, and this is the rain snow line typically. The snow line is actually getting farther and farther south, and it's maybe a little too far south in this analysis, but it just kind of gives you an idea. I'm going to overlay the wind at the surface. I'll make our arrows a little bigger here. So you can see everything coming in out of the northeast. That's the direction. This is Arctic air. It's the direction it's coming from. It's not a lot of Arctic air. Like the really cold stuff is back here in the plains, the upper Midwest, and it's actually because of the flatness of the terrain here. It's oozing all the way down into Texas. And look at the thunderstorms tonight in the Gulf of Mexico. This is live lightning data that you're looking at here. Very active weather pattern. So you've got a subtropical jet stream here, and you've got little waves. So this is one over us. There's another one in Atlanta. There's another wave down here around the Shreveport, Louisiana area into Dallas, Texas, and another one off the screen in the Mexico. So there's all kinds of Pacific moisture crossing Mexico, going into the Gulf of Mexico and coming out of the Gulf. We just have just enough Arctic air. Put on the millibars here, the isobars, you can see that the main high with this, the main area of Arctic air is still off to the west. That's right here. Okay, so this is our mother lode of the cold air. But we've got just enough of a piece, coming across the Great Lakes every now and then to where it drains down. It's cold air is like maple syrup. And pretty much it's like someone has spilled it. And if you ever have spilled syrup on the table surface or anything, you know that it's not a fast process. It's very slow, but it spreads out and it thins out as it spreads. That's exactly what's going on in the atmosphere. So right near the surface, we're starting to see that maple syrup, that cold air oozing in, and the mountains, Blue Ridge Mountains, the Appalachians farther to the west, are helping to hold it in place. It's once it gets in here, it's going to be very hard to dislodge because it's so heavy compared to the warmer air that's moving up and over it. So it's going to want to sit there until we can totally scour it out, which may not happen until next Wednesday. All right, until then, we've got a threat for 2 more ice storms in the offing here. So this is your synopsis. I want to show you right now the surface temperature is off of this computer. And we'll make them a little bigger for you. Roanoke showing up at 34 here, but again, some outlying locations are colder than that, and we are at 32 at the TV station. So we're right at freezing in many backyards, and if you go across, let's see, go out to the west, you can see how the really cold air is out here, where air temperatures right now are nearly 30 degrees below zero. That's some cold air, and this will only slowly get to the upper Midwest and the Great Lakes here. It's already there, but even colder air on the way as it continues to kind of drop south. The upper support for this is not really going to move much into our area. We're on the edge of it, but that's what's also allowing for us to see the precipitation up and above that. That's where we're getting all those trouble areas right now. You can see the upper 20s right now, 28 into Stanton and Waynesboro. We're all the way up Interstate 81 there with temperatures between 28 and 30 degrees and more moisture likely to move in. This is the subtropical jet stream off of the Penn State site, and you can see we go from day to night. But look at all the clouds here. It's pretty amazing to watch that. It shows you how active that southern jet stream is. And on the edge of your screen, you can see above my head right there, another large storm system that's diving into the flow. So it's going to continue coming across the four corners, the next system, and it'll come toward the Gulf of Mexico and go pretty much near our area as the colder air up underneath all this continues to kind of drain on in and create that havoc in terms of wintry weather. And of course, it only takes a little bit of ice to cause problems on the road. Doesn't matter if you have a 4-wheel drive or a 20-wheel drive. You're not going to get anywhere on ice unless you've got chains or some salt or rocks or something out there. This is the storm system again on the water vapor, and this is over the past 24 hours. Let me shrink it down and give you the overall picture here. Our area is right here. That's Virginia. You can see the showers and thunderstorms blowing up across the southeast, and the jet stream, you can just visualize it here. It's lifting all of that air and moisture and wringing it out over our area. The Arctic jet stream is showing up here to the north. And so you can actually see the blocking going on. You've got a dam pretty much blocking the jet stream, forcing it to buckle. Like when you take a belt and you push both ends together, you get those big buckles in the wavy signatures in the belt there, or the rope, or whatever you want to use. Same thing happens with the jet stream. Atmosphere is very fluid. And therefore it's always moving, and that's why sometimes we had a bust last week, and sometimes we can estimate that via math and see what's going on. The two air masses that are competing for our attention, again, are merging right over our area. That's what makes it so hard to forecast sometimes. You can see that one western storm there. This is the air mass GOES estimate, but basically this is showing us where two different air masses are, and you've got a subtropical air mass here in the green kind of colors, green to orange, and you've got, I think this is polar air in between, and then the dark purple, the violet colors, that's Arctic air that's showing up. So you can see two different rounds according to the satellite anyway of what's going on. Let's check out the road conditions, because this is important as we go throughout the night tonight. And I want to emphasize, I'm not expecting a big system tonight. This is a winter weather advisory. It's not a winter storm warning, but it's just as serious because of the ice. And a little bit of snow, for traffic can create a dangerous situation. Surprisingly, the pavement temperatures, that's what I've got plotted here, are colder than I thought, because temperatures have just now gotten down to 31, 32 degrees, but the pavement temperature in Roanoke right now is reading 31. The air temperature is reading 34. So the pavement's actually colder, which is interesting. I think that's because we had clouds all day today, but I'm not sure. I'm not a pavement weather expert, but 28 degrees on I-64, 30 on 81, and a handful of car accidents as well. Now, across the southwest part of the area, pavement temperatures are around 35, 36, but they're going to fall around Hillsville and Galax and Wytheville as well. And then you move out across Richmond, and pavement temperatures there are near freezing. So you get the idea. Already probably we'll see some slick roads out there, and if you zoom in a little bit on this site, I'm on Virginia511.org. We can pan across here and check out some of this activity. We've got mile marker 155.6 in Botetourt County. We've got a vehicle crash on the north right lane, right shoulder. Might be able to see that. A little hard to see in this window. Let's see, we've got some traffic congestion here. Mile marker 174 in Rockbridge County, we've got tractor trailer crash, north left shoulder and left lane closed in that area. And you can see traffic moving along to the south of there. But if you go up toward Lexington, start getting up around Buena Vista and Lexington, hard to see that. Let's see. There's a good view there for you. You can see that there is some snow and sleet on the ground, and even a little bit on the roadway, it looks like, on the interstate there. We'll go across Iron Gate. It looks like things are moving along, but just at a slower pace there. I'm trying to find some. Let's go back up toward the Stanton area and see if we can pick out some weather. There you go. Snow on the ground in Stanton. Doesn't look like a lot, and again, that's not really what we're expecting. We're not expecting a lot. But again, this is just a slippery mess that's moving into the area. But again, the setup is going to be there for more in the way of significant ice as we go into the weekend. We're not going to catch much of a breath of, relaxing fresh air out of this, or even any sunshine. Probably not going to, again, see the sun until this wedge gets out of here, and that's not going to happen until the middle of next week, if that, because we've got another system coming up. Yeah, a third one after this one, so 4 systems in all, and that one's coming up a week from tonight, next Thursday and next Friday. These are MPing reports. I sent this out earlier, but you can get on MPing, and you can download the MPing app, letter M, P-I-N-G. Since the radar is down, we need your reports. So you can get on there and it'll show your location. You can allow your location and you send in whatever's happening outside. So here in Roanoke, you can see somebody has sent in ice pellets and sleet. So we've got some sleet in Roanoke. You can click north of Rustburg there. We've got freezing rain. Blacksburg, somebody is reporting snow. But we've got rain in Christiansburg. So the line appears to be between Blacksburg and Christiansburg at the moment. Mixed rain and ice pellets in Giles County. It looks like it's all snow to the north there in the Botetourt County, where we've got, I believe that's, we already read that one, about a half an inch in White Sulphur Springs. Snowing in Amherst, Lexington, Stanton, and Waynesboro. And you can look at that on your Radar Scope app, and you can also report through your Radar Scope app there as well. This is the HER model, and this goes as a near-term model for the next several hours. You can see that we continue to watch precip on the model here, forecasted through, this is 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. It's going to happen just about all night tonight. It may be a little spotty at times. Again, the radar's out, so it's hard for us to tell how heavy it is. But it will continue probably up till about 8, 9 o'clock in the morning, and thereafter it should taper off in the more probably just clouds, some low-lying areas of drizzle and fog, and more than likely that will be freezing drizzle and freezing fog out there for your Friday morning. So most of tonight's actions occurring right now and will continue after midnight tonight. Make it a little heavier after you see this broadcast if you're watching it live. It starts to taper off around 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. However, the threat for freezing drizzle is going to continue pretty much all day. This is up to 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and the model here is still showing us some pink areas. That's freezing rain and freezing drizzle. This is an east wind. Look at that wedge all the way down to Atlanta. That's some cold air damming. And I can show you the temperature too off of this model. You can see that wedge. It's setting up right now. Look at the cold air continuing the ooze southward. And, that continues to happen because of high pressure to the north and the low pressure system and a stalled front with numerous lows riding along it to our south near the coast. Warm air aloft, though, is keeping us from getting snow this time, but definitely an icy situation. By the way, we are in a strong La Nina right now, and that is why we are seeing all these little systems this year. A lot of little systems, a lot of little to moderate systems at times. The biggest snow, 5 inches. That's not too bad, but nothing like you'd see in a winter where you want a lot of snow. This is a winter with a lot of ice, and it's very typical of La Nina. But you can get snow in La Nina too. I'm mainly concerned about ice. This is the rapid update cycle here, the RAP model. And this is the latest run, which takes us through the night tonight. Once again, it's just a mixed bag across the area. That's freezing rain in purple, sleet in red on this particular map. And the snowy areas, again, Route 460 and to the north, you've got a good chance of seeing that snow continue tonight, where coating to a couple of inches is possible. And then that changes over just freezing rain and freezing drizzle for your Friday morning. And this RAP model here keeps that going again into around the lunchtime hour tomorrow, at least some freezing drizzle, light areas of freezing rain. Now, let's look at one other model. This is the NAM. This is the 12-kilometer model. More of the same. Again, it's very, messy in terms of whatever model you look at. Brings the freezing rain and sleet a little bit further north by the morning. Keeps those areas of, sleet pellets and some freezing rain around tomorrow afternoon. Mainly very light, I think, very spotty. This is what I want to talk about, though. We don't have much of a break, if at all. This is Friday night. You can see it fills back in here because the air mass doesn't change. It's still going to be cold near the surface. We're still going to have these waves moving in. So the next system is coming up by midnight Friday, and that's going to last into Saturday. This, to me, looks like an ice storm. We may turn over the rain by the afternoon, but I doubt it. That'll be Saturday. We're probably going to hover around freezing all day Saturday. My concern is, do we get some glaze on the tree limbs tonight? And can we melt it off in time for the next system? We may not, especially on some of the higher elevation and the ridge tops there. So this could be a slow motion disaster for some areas. I hate to use that word, But when you start adding ice on top of ice on top of ice, that's a lot of weight. And you're going to probably see some reports. You definitely want to get your devices charged up. And again, this is not going to happen by tomorrow morning. This is going to be a slow motion thing that happens through the weekend and the next week. So when you wake up tomorrow, you say, okay, where's the big ice storm Jamie called for? No. But wait by Tuesday and see what it looks like outside. So charge your devices and just be prepared. Gather your batteries and flashlights and the like, because to me, this looks serious. Maybe a higher amount of moisture coming in for Saturday. And again, rain or freezing rain, predominantly the go-to there. Now, what happens in the Sunday, Valentine's Day? Does it clear out? I don't think so. All right, more of an east wind pushing in. That wedge remains in place, so we may just be cloudy all day, and we may get to 40 on Sunday. That may help us a little bit in terms of melting some of that ice off before Sunday into Monday. And so there's another system coming up for Monday and the Tuesday. Spotty freezing rain, spotty freezing drizzle, but we'll show you that here on the Euro. Let's see, let me go here. All right, so here's Virginia. This is tonight's system. Snow to the north, ice to the south. Lingering clouds Saturday or Friday. Saturday, here we go with more ice. Let's get our view here back to the east a little bit better so you can see. There we go. So this is an ice storm, again, Saturday. And it's more than likely it's going to be on top of what we get tonight, which again isn't going to be a lot, but we're going to add to it over time. We're going to get these little waves that keep on adding to it. Notice the wedge stays firmly in place. This is now Saturday night. Sunday, the precip wanes a bit, but doesn't go too far to the south. That front's still going to be down here. And then you get another wave of low pressure coming up for Saturday night and the Sunday. I'm sorry, Sunday night and the Monday. That may be rain, maybe freezing rain, probably be a little bit of everything. Some evaporative cooling may be taking place if we get lower dew points in here Sunday. The moisture as it sets in strengthens the high to the north. This is a 1036 high that starts to move in. So that's a different high than the one we have over us right now. We actually see a second bubble of high pressure to the north. Now we're going into Monday and Tuesday. And look at that. That's another ice storm. And this could be a fair amount of moisture. This trough, you follow the thickness lines there in blue and red. That's the basic upper level wind scheme. Even though it's thickness, you can follow the upper level winds for that too, the 500 millibar heights. That's another Miller B storm, and a pretty strong one actually in terms of moisture. Pretty good pressure gradient here. So that is an ice storm. And this is, again, looking at Tuesday all day. It ends as ice. Tuesday afternoon. Now, do we clear out Tuesday afternoon? I don't think we will, but we may. If we do, we'll get a chance to melt this away. By that time, we could have, quite a bit of radial ice accretion. Once we get about 0.2 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch of radial ice, which is the ice you would measure on one side of a round surface, not flat ice, that's radial ice. You start seeing power outages and tree limb damage. Then, some of these models are suggesting we may see over 1/2 inch of radial ice accretion if we can't melt this away. And it may be closer to something even higher than that. Another system coming down the pike here for Thursday and the Friday. This one could also be ice. At the very least, it may be heavy rain, and there's even going to be a thunderstorm potential here. This is a week from today, February the 18th and 19th. So a lot of moisture too, and that's something I want to talk about. Let's look at our precip total. You see how this adds up over time. So between 1 and 2 inches, locally 3 to 4 inches possible here as we go into next week at this time. So there may be some flooding in here as well, especially if everything melts at one time and when we put a lot of heavy rain on top of that next Thursday into Friday. So I do want to keep that in the back of your mind. Don't be surprised if we see some high water concerns as we go into the weekend and into early next week. Got a lot of dynamics over the area right now. This is a combination of the low-level convergence with that colder air nosing its way down and our jet stream that's helping us out too. So our jet stream stuff is in the purple color here, and our convergence is in the red color, and the combination is in the blue color. So the combo is right over our area right now in terms of looking at dynamics, what's good for lifting the air and creating moisture. And all the blue colors are freezing temperatures at 5,000 feet. The red colors here are the above freezing temperatures at that level. It's basically where we see the change from rain to mix the snow, and that's going to continue again all night tonight. See, it really doesn't move, and this will be pretty much snaking its way through the area over the next couple of days. If you like the surface maps, I'll show you here how it looks just to get your bearings here on what's going on. This is tonight. You can see the wintry bag of precip over the area. Again, areas north of 460, primarily snow. Areas south, primarily ice, a little bit of both in between. About a coating to a couple of inches for some areas. And then Friday, it tapers off a little bit during the day, but we stay kind of in a sleet, freezing rain mix here in some areas into the evening hours. May not get much of a break. This is new data that's kind of showing us that we don't get a break. As we go into Saturday, the moisture picks back up again, and this looks to me like an ice storm. Likely ice is what the Weather Prediction Center has here. Likely ice, and that is Saturday going into Sunday. That's a bad ice storm, unfortunately. Now, more the same next week. Sunday may be our one quiet day. Then Monday and the Tuesday, they've got rain here, but don't be surprised if the high is centered over southern Ontario like it shows there. This could be another icy mess coming up, and then by next Wednesday and Thursday, yet another system again for Thursday. So tremendously active here. And again, you see the moisture over the next 7 days. Most of this is going to be in the form of ice, unfortunately, and freezing rain, which is, I know, what folks don't want to see out there. I'm just checking on reports to see what's happening now. Got some ice pellets and snow near Fincastle. It's sleeting in Roanoke. Don't hear any sleet out my window. But here's a look at the radar. Temperatures continue kind of nosing down very slowly. So if you have to be out tonight, give yourself a lot of time and go very slow over the bridges and the overpasses. Watch out too, walking out your porch or whatever, your deck or sidewalk is going to get slick fast tonight. It may look wet. It may be a solid sheet of ice by the morning. And if you see snow, keep in mind underneath that snow, there could be a solid sheet of ice. That's the other danger. That's, we were just watching a fail video, Kevin and I, the other day. Somebody walking down their porch, and there were about an inch of snow, they kind of walked out kind of fast thinking, yeah, it's just snow, and there was ice underneath, and, it came flying out and fell right down. So having to watch that as well. I tell you, it's a rough winter, and it's not a snowy winter, but that doesn't mean it can't be rough. This is the polar vortex, by the way, right up here in the Canada, with some of the coldest air on the northern hemisphere, and that's been dislodged from the Arctic regions up here, coming down. And again, that sits very low to the ground. This is the split flow that favors wintry precipitation. And that's the subtropical jet stream right there. So again, the cold air coming down, the moisture coming up and over. That's your update for right now. I've got much more on my Patreon. Check it out. It's only $1 a month, and it helps me pay for the stuff I show you. And just the streaming stuff that I use, the stream to all these pages at one time, that costs money too. And I pay for it myself. A station or whatever doesn't pay for it. They provide me with the equipment, but I pay for the data. So it helps cover the cost of that. I haven't got to where I'm actually even yet. I'm still losing money every month. But hopefully if more and more people sign up, I can show you additional snow maps and stuff, which I'll work on a new post as soon as I get done with this, and get it at least where I can break even. I appreciate you, and stay safe. Get ready for more ice this weekend, and possibly a major ice storm again by next Tuesday.